Yeah, I mean, Sherry is telling the truth. I mean, just from my house in general. Of course, I did a little bit because people were coming, truthfully. But, you know, before I went in the hospital last year, she didn't know how bad it was. But she came over. Was it somebody?
It was like a few days.
Somebody was coming over. Somebody was coming over, and I was freaking out because the house was disaster, and I couldn't even get off the couch. Couldn't get off the couch. I had to almost call 911. And, but I mean, basically, I was introduced to Vasalis actually last fall. And, well, I guess most people know, but I had, in 2010, I got diagnosed with colon cancer after being, basically sick for a year and not going to the doctor. And then I, made it through that surgery and went through chemo, and I thought, like, after the colon cancer that I had a new lease on life. You know, it's like when that tumor came out, I felt like a new person. I woke up, I'm going to diet, I'm going to exercise, but I didn't. My mother was sick too, and I got depressed and started back my old favorite thing of doing, eating everything and their brother. Wouldn't take my medicine, wouldn't do anything. And then I guess it was my mother passed away in June 12th, 2011. And I was getting sick still from my chemo, but I got depressed. I would not do anything, would not go out of the house, would not take my medication. And a friend of mine actually was selling Vasalis. And I said earlier, he sells everything. Love you, Ray Lloyd. But anyway, so I got a free sample, and I liked it, but I was already so sick. I mean, I liked it, helped my mind, but I could not lose weight because I had not taken my thyroid medicine in so long, and it ate so bad that it wouldn't do anything. Because I'd already gotten to where I started swelling up so bad that I would wake up. I remember the first time it happened, I woke up and my gown was wet, and I was like, did I spill something? And I had started getting so swollen that it was so much that my body wouldn't hold the stuff, so it was coming out my pores. Fluids were coming out everywhere. I have scars all over me from it. But I still wouldn't go to the doctor. And this went on, actually, and I still was going out a little bit. But, please don't start crying, honey. But, anyway, my friend Lisa told me, you're going to end up, let me turn this thing on. Oh, well, she said, you're going to end up homebound. And I said, that'll never happen. Because, you know, when you get so sick so long, when you're so miserable so long, it becomes, you don't know any different. So when you start getting worse, you don't really, you better how to turn that off. When you're miserable so long that you don't really know, like when you start getting worse, your mind, your body, you're just used to being overweight. You're used to being sick and depressed and miserable. So when I started, anyway, I got the Vasalis shakes, and it was helping my depression some, but I could not lose weight. And they kept saying, you're not moving enough. And my friends, I was like, I'm trying. They walk back and forth in the house. Well, I'd gotten so swollen, I couldn't. I was so swollen and gaining so much weight that I couldn't. All I could do was walk from the bathroom to the couch, and y'all see how far it is to the kitchen. Cindy had brought their little refrigerator. It's still in there, over because my refrigerator was broke, and I couldn't even get from here to the refrigerator. It was on top of the dining room table. Do you remember? Mm-hmm. And we had just milk and some stuff in there, and I couldn't even get from here to there. So I found a grocery delivery guy. I know this is lengthy, but and I would leave. This went on for like 2 months. I would leave the door unlocked, and he would bring me food and stuff in my house and sit here, and I couldn't only go from here to there barely. It was like holding onto the walls, but nobody really knew. And so the day, I guess you came over on a Saturday. I think it was a Saturday.
I don't remember.
Yeah, but anyway, I didn't want anybody to know, but I really felt like I was dying inside, and but it's like I don't know if I didn't care, or I just thought there was no hope, or anything. And
No, I think I came on a Thursday, and by Saturday you were in the hospital.
no, I went on a Tuesday.
She went on Tuesday. She
Okay.
wouldn't go Monday.
She
She's
tried
gonna
to
wait
talk
till
me into-
Tuesday
You called
because
me on
somebody
a
could go with
Thursday.
her.
Yeah. Anyway,
Sometime Saturday.
my friend Lisa came over on that Sunday, and I didn't want anybody to know how bad I was, so I stayed on the couch covered up in a blanket,
Mhm.
just because I knew if she saw me get up, I couldn't. So I didn't even go to the restroom. So that night, I felt like what's it called? Like you get not a vision, that I was gonna die. I felt like God was telling me. So I went to and I had no clue how much I weighed. I knew like probably I was in the mid 400s at one point, and I knew I'd gained, but I mean I had no clue. And so I went. I had not been able to get 911. I had to come a few times and get me from this chair to that chair. My stomach was down to here, swollen. I could only lay in this chair. It was like cutting off my circulation. My legs burned. They couldn't feel them, and they would burn constantly. And then my friend Connie came over, and she even said like we're gonna have them amputated. And so I called my sister-in-law's sister, and I said, "Will you go with me to the emergency room? I'm gonna call the ambulance." Well, I was so humiliated at my size. I don't know how. It had to be God giving me strength, because I don't know how I made it down the front steps. I hadn't been able to go down the steps in 2 months. And then I got on the thing, they were checking me out. I mean, I went in, they were running tests. The next thing I remember is 2 weeks later, and I wake up, I can't talk, I can't move, I can't breathe, I can't do anything. And I also found out I weighed 660 pounds at that point. And that I'd been on 2 forms of life support and less than 20% chance of living. If I did live, that I would never go home. I'd be in
You wouldn't go home by yourself.
Yeah, or I'd be in a nursing home. Mm-hmm. And so I got transferred to long-term acute care, which I stayed for over 3 months. Like I said, I could not walk, talk, breathe, eat, which I guess was a good thing. But I never thought I'd see the sunlight again, or feel the air on my face, or when you get everything taken away, everything means everything. That's almost like all your senses, from moving to talking to breathing. One thing I could do, I could see and hear, but and somehow God gave me the strength. I eventually could start moving a little bit, and walking. I don't know, somehow they never thought I'd come home. I had to make it up the steps. I had to push my legs up the steps when I could start walking. But then I got home. I lied, because you weren't supposed to come home by yourself for 2 weeks. My brother stayed a couple of days and did all he could do, but I still had my Vasalis. And I was like, I didn't have a lot of money, so I was like, I'll make me a shake. I started drinking them. I started feeling a little better. And I connected with Kara again through Facebook a little bit here and there. And I wasn't supposed to be driving, of course. And I went up there to the gym. I'd been calling.
Stalker.
I didn't want her to know. I wanted to surprise her. And we talked some. Remember, I couldn't, it was exciting when I couldn't talk for so long, and I called you. Do you remember? You're one of the first people I called.
Yeah.
And she and I could talk. And but anyway, I found out that they were all doing the shakes. I was like, this must be a sign. So I went down there and surprised her at the gym, and we talked about working out and everything. But it made me, because they were all involved, and I started reading Rob's stuff on Facebook and through them. And I don't know, it's like I started feeling better and getting stronger. And I was just kind of doing it, not as a snack, but just sort of drinking them to feel better, not for meal replacements then. I knew I couldn't go back. I could never go back to the way I was. I mean, that's what put me where I was, for not taking care of myself, for not taking medicine, for not taking health seriously. And God brought me through stuff that most people don't even get a second chance. From my colon cancer, I'd had the bleeding problems from that for 10 years and never got checked. 10 years. Was sick from the vomiting for a year, never got checked. Made it through that. I basically went back to being unhealthy, and then almost lost my life for it. And I've been given like more grace and more mercy and more help and more opportunities, and that's why I will never give up. And this product, I feel like it's so meant to be for me because it's like I had it. I still had it from last year. So somehow God was like using it last year even, like because I already had it. So I could have never afforded it, but I just happened to have, you know, my stuff left over, and my friend ordered it and didn't want it, so I was like stocked up. So, in 25 years, since 1989, I've not been able to be without antidepressant. I know it's been that long. I mean, I cannot deal without having Xanax. I'm not talking to like a drug addict, but I mean, I couldn't relax. I was in constant anxiety state, nervous. I hate to say it. I never thought I was. I get mad when people say it. I was so negative about things. I didn't mean to be. I didn't even know I was being that way, you know. I mean, I would like, oh, there's no hope. I'm not getting better. I'm depressed. It's like I was like claiming it, basically. My mother said, don't claim it, you know. I didn't know I was doing it. And now, I mean, for me to get clear, the doctor blew her mind. I've known them for 25 years, and when I walked in their office, she was like blown away. They told me I could never lose weight without surgery. They told me I could never not be on the antidepressants. And I'm telling you, there's something. I know God's using the Vasalis because if I don't have it, I feel like when I used to take my Xanax all the time, you know? I mean, it's like a life. I feel like I'm alive for the first time that I can remember when, maybe ever. Maybe even as a child. It's sad to say, but I just feel like $1,000,000 friggin' bucks. But anyway. So, Kara,